For those who grew up without affection, what did you consider intimate? My parents weren't exactly monsters. They put food on the table, kept the lights on, made sure I had clothes that mostly fit. But hugs? Those were for other families. Saying, "I love you," was something that happened in movies, not in our house on Maple Street. Touch meant you were in trouble, or someone was trying to get past you in the hallway. I learned to find intimacy in the weirdest places, like when Mrs. Garcia from next door saw me sitting on our front steps in December wearing just a hoodie. Our heat had been shut off for 3 days, and my parents just told me to put on more layers. She knocked on our door and asked if I wanted to come warm up by her fireplace. I sat there for 2 hours, drinking hot chocolate she made from scratch, not that powdered stuff. She didn't ask questions about why I was freezing. She just wrapped a blanket around my shoulders and let me exist in her warm living room. That felt more intimate than anything my own family had ever done for me. When I started dating in high school, I was a mess. My girlfriend Rachel would do these tiny things that made my heart race in ways I couldn't explain. Like during a movie, she reached over and tucked my hair behind my ear without even looking away from the screen. Nobody had ever touched me that gently. In my house, touch meant someone was about to yell at you or shove you out of the way. But this was different. Soft. Like I actually mattered enough for someone to notice a piece of hair was bothering me. Even after we broke up junior year, I remembered that moment more clearly than our first kiss. It was the first time someone touched me just because they wanted to, not because they had to. College was when I really figured out what intimacy meant to me. My roommate Jake would save me half his sandwich when I had late classes and missed dinner. He never made a big deal about it, just left it wrapped up on my desk with a note that said, "Thought you might be hungry." That hit me harder than any grand romantic gesture ever could. Someone actually thought about me when I wasn't around. Someone anticipated what I might need and took care of it without being asked. When Professor Martinez wrote, "I believe in you," in red ink on the margin of my essay, I kept that paper for months. Nobody had ever said they believed in me before. My parents' version of encouragement was, "Don't screw this up," or "Try not to embarrass us." But here was this woman who barely knew me, telling me she thought I could succeed. I carried that paper in my backpack until it fell apart. The moment that changed everything happened during Thanksgiving my sophomore year. I couldn't afford to fly home, not that I really wanted to. Jake invited me to his family's house in Ohio. His little sister Emma was maybe 5 years old, this tiny kid with pigtails and a gap-toothed smile. During dinner, she just climbed into my lap without asking. Didn't say anything, didn't explain herself. She just curled up against my chest and fell asleep while the adults were talking. I sat there frozen, afraid to move and wake her up. Nobody in my childhood had ever used me as their safe place. I was usually the one looking for somewhere to hide, somewhere to feel protected. But here was this little kid who trusted me completely, who felt safe enough to fall asleep on me. Jake's mom noticed and whispered, "She really likes you." She doesn't do that with strangers. I almost started crying right there at their dinner table. That's when it hit me. Intimacy wasn't about grand gestures or fancy dates. It was about being seen, being trusted, being treated like you mattered.